At the shop.
It's Saturday at the shop.
It's one of our first shows of the year. Maybe it is our first show of the year.
What is today's date? Yeah, this has got to be the first one, right?
Hey, and it's episode number
294.
No, it's 294 last.
No, it's 294.
Okay.
SATS 294. Boom. It's underway. Pops, hit us with some headlines.
2024 plan is fully underway. Large-scale event you want to attend. Can we guess what we're smoking? Big announcement.
All right, on today's abbreviated show, because we don't have any idea, because we are hitting the ground.
Yeah, we're fresh off of First Friday, which usually hampers us a little bit when it comes to brain power. Last night's event was, as you guys may or may not know, every First Friday, we let our hair down and have a good time. And it was cooking last night. Packed, no place to sit, no place to stand. It was packed, and we had a great time.
Did Busy stay on 90s hip hop?
He stayed on 90s hip hop the whole night, and everybody didn't get obscure. I mean, it was obvious because he was starting to hit the songs that people were like, "Wait, have you ever heard of this?" Mm-hmm. So I think he played all of the 90s hip hop songs ever made.
Okay, good.
But he was doing that every 15 to 20 seconds would rotate into the next song, and
so he was rolling.
It was. So, no, it was a great time, and it's a great cardio workout. Now that I'm looking at it was a great cardio workout.
Yeah, it's good. That is excellent. Okay, so the first question hops out. Everyone hop on their keyboards there. 2024, we've got our plan in action. Actually, on this week, we've got a 2-day meeting that is going to be really identifying the fine details of it.
Yeah,
but events. And specifically, large scale. We'll have space for one, maybe two full-scale events. What do you want to see? Yeah. Right. Previously, we did the golf tournament, we did the derby, we did rodeo. Halloween is obviously that's a staple that's got to stay. But as far as something unique, we've been tossing around some ideas that I think are really out of the box.
Really out of the box.
Like what were you just saying? Trampoline on snow skis competition. I think that one's good. I think one tiered around children is probably good too.
I think any event you could do annually, and then just have a bar set for how many casualties are during the event, and then the next year the success is based on either more or less.
Well, this one would be good, which is a dirt bike attached to a crane competition.
Yeah.
Would be good.
Yeah. And by the way, if you're coming to a small foreign country like Chicago, let us know. We will see you going through the meeting. I cannot see who's coming in. And
Adrian.
Oh,
remember that fella?
Adrian used to be on this show.
Remember that fella?
What is his? He moved to Oklahoma or something.
Pretty close
to Oklahoma.
Yeah, really far south.
Yeah, it'd be nice for you to show up.
We miss you.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, we've got a Bad Words podcast that's coming on. It's on The Voice, saying with Adam Levine. That's all I know. I watched the guy sing. It's an Evan
Is that
connection.
a thing? Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing.
Because we were talking about these events where we're going to hook people up to a crane. I think so we're going to have somebody on that was on The Voice.
Yeah, and he's got some pipes.
Really?
Yeah, he's got some really serious pipes.
Nice.
All right, you're smoking.
Is there anybody coming from a foreign country? Larry Adams in. Oh, then by the way, we're Distretto is saving our lives this morning.
I'm going to be two here.
Yeah.
Mark Myers, farms,
That's one.
These are not bad ideas. Are you saying hunting in Nicaragua? Because it's very hard to.
Yeah.
We have to do Night at the Factory again.
Yeah.
Maybe with Luciano.
Night at the Factory with Luciano would be that.
I think that's the one. Night at the Factory.
Okay. Put that down. Night at the Factory. Do you want to tell them what night of the factory is so that people can want to sell
Until we
those
get-
guys? Okay.
But here's the beauty. Here's the subtext of it: is everything you want to experience in a factory, minus the food poisoning, minus the passport, minus
The
flight,
shakes and shakedown
and which
and the potential.
you'll have no Sandinistas stopping you
No,
on the way to Esteli.
I mean it does take a little bit of the excitement out when you're not sure if you're going to get kidnapped, but other than that, it's a good time.
Everything else. That's what we're talking about, Ron.
Okay, thank you. Show
God.
started.
Damn it, Ron. Do you have any? Well, thank you for doing that.
Yes.
Do you have any idea what you're smoking?
Not yet. I have not
Can I
concentrated
try
on it for a
yours?
second.
Wait.
You know what? We should do a cigar.
That's a good idea, Chris. Thanks for bringing that one up. We should do a cigar
I
rolling.
think I Chris is back. I never had that idea. I had a good idea for a golf event. That's legit. So that's
Oh, yes, this is a legit idea. And
yeah.
start putting your hands up if you want to be.
Multiple groups. Get on an airplane. Fly to Myrtle Beach. 4 days of golf.
And
Sun, cigars, and we allow one of our manufacturers to sponsor the weekend, so we're bathed in their cigars the entire time.
maybe we could hook up with Jalen Smith and see if Tango Whiskey would want to sponsor
Yeah.
these
Oh, I'm sure he would.
cigars and whiskey.
I'm sure he would actually. He would want to come play.
That would be cool.
Yeah. We'll work on that because Jalen is all in on golf, all in on golf, and he's back with the Steelers. So if the Steelers don't make it to the Super Bowl, he'll be available. So that'll be it.
They're going to do it. Don't think they're going to do it. Good morning. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. This is Saturday at the Shop. Our weekly get together, especially unscripted and just off the cuff here, as we are now getting past the point in retail, past Q4, when all of the cobwebs that form up, all the mud in your goggles, you just kind of pull the tear off and go, oh, this is what the world looks like.
Yeah,
Let's look
things
around
like
for a little bit. All right, okay, let's do this. So we are admittedly very small this morning by choice. I'm excited about this year. I'm excited for what's coming very soon. I'm also excited for an announcement that we haven't truly made yet. I think it's really important. Look out for it. But ours truly.
what is it? I'm excited. What are you talking about?
Well, you know it. The man to stage left, has been promoted. Evan Gregory has moved from marketing manager to the sales and marketing director of Mike's Family Cigar, Industrial Cigar Company.
I noticed he was a little taller today.
That's right,
Mm-hmm.
right? He pulled that mustache off. He's up. He's changed. He's got the brand stuff. But the Chelsea booth, congratulations to Evan Gregory.
Yes.
We'll send out the whole release and do all this. But it's great. It makes our life better. It makes everyone's life much better.
Good.
We've got some stuff coming in. Unfortunately, we are pulled a little bit further away as I think they're saying crash. Ricardo, good morning, happy New Year to you.
He was here last night, met his girlfriend, and he's over his motorcycle accident. He was. It was good to see.
Morning.
Out of
Which
his head,
leg?
or the ones in his head, or the legs? Okay.
Okay.
Well, long as
All right, what's that cigar telling you? What are you thinking?
it's got a really bright, citrusy, really bright note to it, very acidic. I'm still kind of playing with it.
Yeah, I'm in a similar wheelhouse. Both Josh and Evan pulled labels off to see if they could fool us this morning. Mine's kind of got that. You know when you get to that, Cameroon has that taste, it almost tastes dusty a little bit.
Yeah,
but still a little citrus. That's what's kind of cool.
yeah, this is really bright. Really, really bright. What are your New Year's resolutions? I'm going to ask you what your New Year's resolutions are. But one of yours should be smoke 2 cigars at the same time. Actually, get 2 different cigars and smoke them at the same time. Dumond, owner of Definition Cigars, he was here last night. We were sitting there talking about how people are, in order to make progress, or I guess the frustration when you come out with a cigar that's very sophisticated, the beginning smokers don't really have the ability to tell the difference between one and the other. They either know if they like it or they don't. But if you smoke one after the other, you don't oftentimes remember what you just had. So a lot of people just don't realize that there's significant difference in cigars and taste until they smoke them at the same time and really start to identify some of those notes. Now, you may not take it in and go, that tastes like marshmallow, but you'll taste the difference. You can start really progressing as you start looking for a certain flavor profile. So, but yeah, do you have a kind of a go-to flavor profile?
I thought you were asking me what my New Year's resolution was.
Well, yeah, but I was talking about cigars for a second.
No one wants to know about anyone's resolutions, as a matter of fact. Go-to profile is.
What's your go-to profile?
Yeah, where do you guys live? Because I'm not 100%. Because it's
Stinko he's all.
That's like saying what's your favorite movie?
Well, no, it's not. Is there a certain type of movie that you like? I like detective movies. Detective shows.
All right.
Do you like
comedies too?
That's why Ace Ventura is my favorite movie. I like comedy. I like detectives. And I like dolphins. Yeah. And dolphins.
Inspector Gadget, Pink Panther with Steve Martin in it.
As long as that's Steve Martin in it, perfect.
Yeah, but it is a really good question. I think
I'm medium. I like complexity. I like a cigar that stays the same through the entire cigar. I like something that kind of moves around and rotates.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think I just want something that gives me something to think about in a very positive way. I want something that it's not in your face, it's not obtrusive, it's not aggressive. It just hops in. Nice, balanced, round cigar that can live in a very wide degree, right? You can get into the DCs, which are more on the full side for my palate. You can get down to like the Terra Creek, which is very, very smooth and excellent. But they both tell a not so dissimilar story, right? It's very easy and very easy. What you got?
Harder for the profile. It's like Michigan said. Depth with some richness.
Clean smoke, depth, and deep richness.
That was one of the things that came up. Javon and I were both smoking the Prince Squad.
How good is that thing?
It's funny because he's not a Dominican smoker. Javon is not a Dominican smoker. He smoked the first 2 inches of that cigar, and I'm like, he paid me. He goes, this is kind of boring. It's kind of boring. Now, it's a 9.5-inch cigar, so that tobacco goes through a lot of filtration before it gets to you. So he's like, I'm telling you, I'm kind of bored. Then he gets into about the 3-inch point, and he's like, okay, hold on. He starts smoking it, and he gets to the halfway point. He goes, this right here, this is my drink. And then by the end of the night, it looked like he was in a trance. He would just here. I won't use the exact words that he said, but it was this thing right here. This right here.
He was sold on it?
Yeah, I mean, he was in a trance. And he's like, that cigar, now keep in mind, it's a 9.5-inch cigar. But he goes, this was 3 different cigars in one cigar. It's so wild meat in one cigar.
Larry Adams smoked his black.
Oh, Larry Adams smoked his first black Rito.
He bought it from a foreign country like Chicago. So
Got what did you spend?
Tax and everything.
How much did you spend for your Black Burritos, Larry Adams? Let us know that.
But it is a phenomenal cigar.
You say Chris
Chris
Coulter?
Coulter, leathery espresso, all the Coach on all
All right.
Yep,
That's all good.
that's good. But I think there's when we do our testing, like what did we test? 6 cigars over 2 days. The industry still is spice forward. They just hammer your palate. And when I talk about clean, my vision of clean, and that was one of the things that Jamal and I were talking about, the way it finishes, it doesn't sit heavy. It actually dissipates to kind of nothing before you take the next one. It is clean on the palate versus oily residue or some of those stuff. $66.
Yeah, that's normal prices plus Chicago tax.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. Does this have a Cameroon on it? I'm getting lost in it then. This is not a Cameroon.
Let me feel the wrapper. That's like Habano.
What's yours?
This toothy, but I think that's Habano. Or Corella. So what are you got your resolutions all fancy and shit?
See this?
That's fancy.
This is our VTO. Our personal VTO. Us at the lounge, the ICC family have done, thanks to Daniel Himmel,
Yes.
who is our EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System Coach, who we'll see for a couple days next week. EOS has changed the way we do business. And I've loved it so much that we went, let's turn it into life. So there are a handful of us here at the lounge that are doing the EOS for life. And it's really cool. You put down your 3-year target, 1 year, then you break it quarterly. Then every month we're connecting on it. And it's really cool how you go core values, everything who you are. And you get to put it right down in front of you.
Nice.
Really, really special because it gets away from the things that basically what are resolutions? They're things you feel bad that you didn't do the year before. Yeah. But this is something that turns very proactive, forward thinking. This is where I want to go over the next couple of years.
It's a legit plan.
It's a
Instead of,
legit plan.
I'd really like to do this. So anyway.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Don't listen to how Davidoff compared to other brands. Just call it Davidoff for Dragons.
Okay, so that's actually a good question. How does Davidoff take selected tobacco out of there? Right? How does Davidoff compare to brands? What would your answer be?
Well, I mean, here the Dragon is their limited edition cigar. It's about, a limited number of, like 5,000. But it is a worldwide distribution cigar. They'll typically throw some better aged cigar. Their tobacco is in the Dominican. Their farm is literally across the street from the Reyes farm. So the Reyes farm is where
You keep talking. I'm trying to.
I'm trying to talk to you. You're having a conversation over here. How am I going to stay in this zone?
Reyes Farm, go.
Reyes farm. I just want to get in a position that I can make your ears bleed.
Shit out of you.
So, but the Reyes farm, does all of the Toro cigars. You have KBF, which does the principal cigars. They're also Junior. They're kind of in that same area that Davidoff's tobacco comes from. So there are other cigars that will compare, but Davidoff uses well-aged tobacco, and they have a certain blending philosophy, and their stuff is good. We have Davidoff on the floor. Their stuff is very good, particularly that late hours of beautiful cigar. But how does it compare? My suggestion would be, before you smoke it, come in and get an Alfonso or come in and get a Byron, and it's going to be at a similar price point. It'll actually be considerably less, but smoke the two side by side and make a judgment.
I agree with that. That is an excellent assessment. I think when it comes to a brand, if you're asking brand to brand, I think Davidoff is the strongest brand in the industry. I think it is for quality to me is very, very Mercedes.
Very much.
They have quality en masse globally, and they just are, they're buttoned up. Operationally, they've gone through some changes over the previous years, but it's a global company that I think holds up very well. And if you look at it, if you're going to compare, it's not necessarily fair to compare Atabey to Davidoff, because if Atabey could have their way, they'd be in 5 retailers globally. That's not the model. But if you take those into consideration, someone who doesn't even seemingly care to make money in Nelson Alfonso, and then a global organization, Davidoff, I think they do a really nice job of providing excellent product.
Yeah, and I think your analogy to Mercedes is perfect, because if you say Mercedes, you have a certain feeling about that brand, about that. You just automatically know that it's good and expensive, but Davidoff has done the same thing. He's smoking a Davidoff, the perception is smoking a better quality smoke. So that's the one thing that they have done, is they've maintained that high range presence. You have a lot of companies that are trying to break through and make inroads into the cigar industry and volume with price, and then they break away and come out with a $25 cigar. But that's not how they're doing. You know, I take Aroma Craft, for example. Great quality cigars made in Nicaragua, and they all kind of sit in that $10 to $12 price range. And they're just satisfying for the guy who just wants a quarter pounder, a double quarter pounder with cheese and fries. It is perfect, and that's what they're known for. If they came out with a $50 cigar, people would be like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
What you got?
Start with Davidoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want an excellent cigar that you don't have to guess whether it's going to work or not, and you go into a retailer in any of your travels and you find Davidoff, you know what to do. Right? It takes sales to get somebody out of it. Thankfully, it never makes you a liar. But with that being said, it takes a gamble to walk in and go, oh, what's Principal? I never heard of Principal. What's an Aviator? Oh, that's kind of expensive, or I could spend another $5. Go with Davidoff. I know it's a nice cigar, blah, blah, blah. I think it's a safe bet. They're very, very good cigars. There's no doubt about it. And thanks a lot to Davidoff. There is a principle that kicked off as beautiful as it did, because all of the tobacco that Davidoff was able to really find, but didn't have enough of this exotic tobacco. That goes to KBF, to Kellner Boutique Factory.
Yeah, two bundles of tobacco is not going to do any good. That's where the volume is. And when you see what happens when they take really rare small batches of tobacco, they make the Davidoff Oro Blanco, and they put this beautiful top in there. It's $500 a stick. $500. But that's 12-year-old aged tobacco, very limited tobacco, and I just got done describing Natty.
Yeah.
It's 40 bucks. Yeah. So there are some hidden gems out there, by the way, and that's where coming in and talking to somebody like ourselves or an educated tobacconist that has some of this product. Case of Amigo, Red Habano. That was a collaboration with Davidoff, using Davidoff tobacco and Davidoff's rollers, and George Rico working with Davidoff's master to create that cigar. And it's under $20.
Is that? It's so funny because I was just sitting here thinking, smoking that, because I smoked it a couple weeks ago. And the thing about that cigar is it has some of that grassy that Davidoff has. And it's composed, but it does lack a little bit of. It lays just a little bit flat and doesn't have a ton of change. So if you like a cigar that's just good, right in the center, smokes pretty consistent, it was like you just read my mind. I'm sitting here looking at it thinking, man, this is like the hell in video. And that's what I think.
Yeah, could be.
It's in there.
This has got, and I don't know if my palate's just not right, but it's super acidic. That might just be because of what happened before I started doing this. I need to use some Nespresso coffee and clean my palate.
Clean your palate. Clean your palate.
Yes.
Ron, what do you want to accomplish this year? Are you supposed to quit?
Show off.
I haven't seen that thing for years.
I have some at the house.
You do?
Yeah, I have like a box.
For real?
Yeah. Oh, you know those are I bought from that guy? There's some in there. Yeah.
Great.
And flight go shop for once.
Whatever he sold them to you for, it was worth it. What do you want to accomplish this year?
What?
Tales from the Lounge. Make sure to go follow Tales from the Lounge. If you want somebody who's always entertaining.
Ron is great.
Ron is awesome. Ron
Ron runs the computer and he drinks a lot. But one of the greatest shows in the history of cigars on the internet is the show with Jamon. Jamon from Definition of Cigars, Chris and Ron went for the record.
Have you clipped that show yet for the first 1 minute, the last 1 minute? No. Yeah, please clip that.
Yeah, that's all you need to see. The first 1 minute of the show and the next 1 minute of the show, and then in between to show the 4 bottles of scotch that are going.
Yeah, with like that SpongeBob SquarePants guy. It's like 1 minute later. Flips over.
Oh my God! I have never seen a "I love you, man."
Especially with Jamon. I mean, he was looking half Stephen Hawking. He was like,
Well, we're gonna sleeping on your couch.
oh
my God, that was yeah. Go back and watch that show.
All right, do you have guesses on yours?
I don't. The acidity has thrown me way off. It's super bright. I like it. Super bright.
Oh, that's the Maverick?
That is super bright.
Take a look.
That is
This
super
is the Maverick. This
bright.
is a Maduro. This is going to be a San Andreas Maduro.
Hey, Mike Lane.
That's the Maverick.
Yeah. It's a live show. We're talking to the entire internet.
El Amigo, that's what this was?
That's the world famous show.
That's it.
It is. It's the biggest show in Frisco right now.
Okay, cool. You still got it. That's actually pretty good. That is very bright.
I think this ring gauge, because I've had the smaller ring gauge of this, and it was more, it was a fuller bodied cigar to me. But I think with this larger ring gauge, it put enough tobacco in there that it's kind of softened that part of it. But it's super bright. I mean, if you've never heard of a cigar described as bright, this is the definition of bright. And that is happening because of the acidity in the tobacco. Holy cow.
Yeah. I think the 20th anniversary is a better cigar than this.
I love it.
This is a good cigar. Somebody wants
The Gran Habano 20th anniversary. It is spectacular.
if they want a good flavor all the way through, that's just nice and consistent. They're just going to hang and they're going to be with somebody and they're going to be in conversation, have a whiskey, and they just want to enjoy the moment. This would be great. But if you want a cigar that you want to focus on more, the 20th anniversary is better.
I will say this. We had this conversation last night. Disruptors. The cigar industry has a tendency to have a brand owner take a cigar to a factory and say, make this. There's a lot of copying of different cigars. The disruptors are the cigars that you taste and you go, I've never tasted anything like that. The Genesis from DC is a disruptor. The Foreign Affair is a disruptor. This is a disruptor. I've never had a cigar that's this bright.
It's a valid, yeah.
I mean, it's just, so do yourself a favor and look for cigars this year that when you taste it, whether you like it or not, just just experience some of these that are maybe over the top with a creamy note, over the top with a peppery note, over the top with a cedar, dark chocolate, whatever the case may be. This one, from an acidity perspective, that creates this bright tingling on your palate. That's the cigar, but it's still, you can retro it with no problem at all. Typical Jake White.
Let's just get out of here. So, enjoy this afternoon.
It's good.